Looks like we got some work to do today, boys and girls. So good. So what you see here is an engine bay, my engine bay in particular, and one of my most requested videos from you guys is how I clean my engine bay. Now this might not be the proper way to do it, but this is just how I do it. Now that the weather is getting warmer, winter is almost over, spring is upon us for most parts in America, now is a good time to go ahead and do this. This is something that I do maybe once or twice a year. As you guys can see, the engine bay doesn't really need a cleaning, but you guys asked for it, so I'm gonna go ahead and do it. I got nothing else to do today. But anyways, just sit back, relax. Oh, one more thing. Nothing irks me more when I see someone at a show or an event pop their hood and I see nothing but a dirty engine bay or just caked up dirt everywhere. One, from using the wrong type of dressing, because those silicone-based dressings that you guys use for your tires, a lot of those dressings do not work well for the engine bay. So you want to use a nice, good water-based dressing, and I'm going to show you exactly what I use later on in the video. All right, next we're gonna do, we're gonna get the car up in the air. You guys are gonna see why I'm putting the car in the air. Good reason, well, a good reason in my opinion on why I'm doing it. All right, so next order of business, we're gonna take that under tray off, and I'm gonna explain why I'm taking off the under tray in just a few moments. Set that right there. All right, so this part's also optional. There are some parts that I'm gonna wanna take off just so I can clean under there. So the reason for me for taking off the little under shroud one, not only do I wanna clean it, but also I just want some water, a place for water to escape. Really no big deal. Also, I wanna get the pressure washer down there, spray a little bit of the underbody. Like I said, if you live in a place where they place salt on the roads during winter, now is a good time to clean your underbody. I wanna drop this like I did in my last video where I dropped like 3 things. Just try to be careful, but no big deal. We don't have the stock under tray under there anymore. That's gonna be cleaned up also. Like I said, some of this stuff's optional. If you just wanna clean up your engine bay real quick, you don't have to go through this long, lengthy process. But I'm just showing you what I do in my annual engine bay cleaning. Love this pulley cover. This thing is dope. All right, so next thing I'm gonna take off are these side pieces. Sometimes side pieces get in the way of life, so you just gotta get them out the way. And if you have the stock covers on, it's pretty easy. Just use your flathead and just pop the pop clips out, and these things will come out in like 2 seconds. You guys can see I have aftermarket fender shrouds, so it requires a tool, but no big deal. If you guys have never taken these out, you guys will see the first time you take these out, you're gonna see a whole bunch of caked up dirt under this. But I like to clean under there. That's just me, you don't have to. But these are just the 2 main things that we're taking off. I don't think we're taking off anything else. So you can see it's dirty, but not that dirty, but still I wanna get all that gunk out of there. All right, next order of business, I lowered the car back down. Well, next thing we gotta do is cover up the air filter. Now, if you have an air filter box or you have the stock box, you don't have to worry about this whatsoever, but I'm just gonna grab a trash bag and just wrap it around the filter because I do not want to get that wet. All right, so now that we have the filter covered up, now it's time to get to the fun part. We can start cleaning. Now, what I like to do is start from the top down, so I'm gonna go ahead and rinse everything off first. I'm gonna get some all-purpose cleaner. Any all-purpose cleaner will do for this job. Doesn't have to be anything fancy. So this is where it's gonna get a little bit of confrontational. So some of you guys say not to spray the alternator. Well, in these modern day engines, these are pretty much sealed, so you don't have to worry about it. It's not going to hurt the alternator. Also, this pressure washer doesn't produce that much pressure. I'm not hurting any of the painted surfaces with the pressure washer. As you can see, I'll put it up against my hand. It's not gonna hurt. Now, if I were to put it this close, yes, then we're gonna have problems. But as you can see, if I can put it up to my hand, it's not gonna hurt your paint whatsoever. Also, I like to get down here, the front timing cover. A lot of dirt seems to get trapped down there, but we're gonna clean that in just a minute. I don't know if you can hear me. Also the fan, ooh, got some water on me. Get them going with the pressure washer. Now You don't need a pressure washer to do this. I just happen to have one, so I'm gonna go ahead and use it. But the pressure of the water is gonna help get a lot of the gunk out of there. Well, right, we're gonna hose this down. Feels a little bit of coolant back there. Don't drop. So what we're gonna do, we're just gonna use a general purpose, all-purpose cleaner. It can be any all-purpose cleaner. This just happens to be the one that I have. But yeah, this is pretty much most of what I'm gonna use in the engine bay to clean the engine bay. So along with that, I got a couple brushes. This is just a wheel brush that I'm gonna use to get into some tight areas. A wheel woolly also, again, to get in some tight areas. But the main workhorse is gonna be this brush. Like I said earlier, I like to work my way from the top down. Also, what I should have done was take these rain guards off. This is the VIS racing hood, and I like this hood over the Sibon hood, particularly because, one, you can use the stock shroud. If you have a top mount intercooler, this is vital to ensure that your top mount intercooler gets fresh air directly from the outside. And all you have to do is, these are pre-drilled. All you gotta do is just drill them out a little bigger, and you can use the OEM pop clips. Also, these rain guards, those are removable for inclement weather. The Sibon hood that everyone has does not have that. So that's the reason why I picked the VIS hood over the Sibon hood. Also, I like to get the cowl. That's also gonna get clean. But since my engine bay doesn't really need all that much, this is pretty clean. I'm not gonna work too hard, but you guys get the point. Work from the top down, get all the dirt. You're just using the brush just to agitate all of that caked on dirt that your pressure washer is not able to break loose. Now, if you want to get even deeper, you can also take off your intercooler shroud too. I bet you there's a whole bunch of dirt stuck into there. Just work your way around. No need to be aggressive on this part. Just let the brush do the work. All right. Get everything, all the stuff that your pressure washer is not able to break loose. This is gonna break it loose, hopefully. Hopefully your engine bay is somewhat clean, but if it's really dirty, this might take you about, I don't know, about an hour or two to do. But one thing to note, everything else is going to get wet, so you're probably gonna need a car wash afterwards. So right here, just working the cowl a little bit. Pretty much every WRX and STI I see with the engine bay, it's pretty much, there's caked up dirt right here. Just go ahead and get that, get your brush, let your brush do the work. Just work your way around. Yes, your hands and arms will get tired, depending on how deep in the process you go. But, you know what, that's just the fun part. So this cowl is gonna get dressed up later on. I'll show you the dressing that I use. There's two different dressings that I use for the engine bay, and I don't think you can go wrong with either one. All right, so next up, we're gonna spray some all-purpose cleaner in the engine bay. And one thing I'm telling you guys is don't overthink this whole engine bay cleaning process. I mean, as long as you get some agitation in there, then you know the engine bay is going to look clean. So don't worry about getting stuff wet. This is a somewhat modern day engine, so any water or some simple all-purpose cleaner is not gonna hurt anything. Let that dwell for a little bit. We'll try to play around with the brushes, see what brushes work best for you. Like I said, it's never gonna come out like factory new. Just do what you can to get it clean. Yes, I'm using my wheel brush on the engine bay. Try to get the frame rails too. Everyone misses that. So, I mean, that's pretty much it. I mean, you guys get the idea of how to clean your engine bay. Just a little attention to detail, you know, is all it takes. Now, all these electronic plugs, you don't have to worry about it. They're all sealed, so don't worry about it. So, also one thing to note, you're gonna wanna do this when the engine is cold. Do not do this on a hot engine. Obviously, just common sense prevails. Now, obviously, there's gonna be a lot of deep areas that you're not gonna be able to get to, but that's okay. No one's ever going to see it. try to look at the engine bay at different angles. There's gonna be a lot of places that you're probably gonna miss, but you know, if you're a show guy, I guarantee you, if you pop your hood and your engine bay is dirty, you're not gonna get points for your engine bay. You know, if you consider your car a show car, God, please clean your engine bay, guys. And by no means is my car a show car. It's never going to be. I didn't mod it to be a show car, but I do like to keep a clean engine bay, that is for sure. Get that timing cover all nice and cleaned up. Dirt tends to accumulate there. Like I said, I'm not really doing this as in detail as I usually would because, you know, I did this a few months ago already, but you guys kept asking for it. So I'm just showing you my methods and the process of how I clean the engine bay. Also, if you have the stock scoop, air scoop that goes right here, you might want to take that off. Guarantee a bunch of dirt's going to be accumulated down here too. Agitate, break up that dirt so that when you go and spray it with your pressure washer or your garden hose, everything will just come right off. So it's just agitation. Agitation, you're just breaking all that surface dirt loose. All right, so as far as my engine bay, I mean, that's pretty much it for now. You know, you just want to get as much as you can, whether it's an EJ or an FA, the process is pretty much the same. Oh, don't spray your alternator, don't clean your alternator, it's gonna mess it up. Ooh. No, fuck it. So now it's time to spray everything off. All right, so another optional part is to spray the underbody now that it is springtime. Hopefully it's springtime in your area. We're just gonna give the underbody just a little nice little spray with the pressure washer. All right, so that's all done now. So normally what I would do if I was doing a full post-winter cleaning, I would also take out the wheels, clean out the wheel wells, and spray off the whole entire underbody. But like I said, it snowed maybe twice this year, so not really necessary on my part to do this. But if you live in an area where there's a lot of salt on the roads, I highly suggest you go ahead and do that. I'm not the biggest expert as far as cleaning the underbody, but I know I used to do that when I detailed cars way back in the day. We would clean the underbody, the wheel wells, everything. That was like a full 8-hour, sometimes 2-day job to do all that, depending on what kind of car it was, how old it is, how many miles were on there. And most of those cars that we did underbody and wheel well cleanings were exotic cars, but we're not going to need to do it on this car because it just rains, it doesn't really snow. All right, so let's talk about dressings. So dressings, there's 2 dressings that I use. One is Meguiar's Hyper Dressing, excellent dressing to use for your engine bay. It's water-based. Also, GOPRO Pearl is also a good one. I also use this on my tire. This is diluted 1:1. Both of them don't give an overly shiny finish, a nice matte satin finish. If you're looking for something shiny, well, I can't help you there because I do not like an overly shiny engine bay. That's just me. But yeah, these 2 work great. Yeah, you can get these on Amazon. I think they sell Hyper Dressing now at AutoZone. But I got the idea to use hyper dressing from Matt at Obsessed Garage. I just happened to see this at AutoZone, so I picked it up. I think it was like 20 bucks. So, but we're gonna use hyper dressing this time. Okay, so now that you clean your engine bay, everything else, your side panels, your fenders, your front bumper probably got all wet, so you're probably gonna need a car wash. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that, but I'm not gonna show you the whole car wash process. You guys have seen that many, many times before, but I'm gonna spray a little bit of this on there just to let it penetrate, and we're gonna go over in detail the dressing process. Oh, it smells pretty good. Love the way hyper dressing smells. Nice fruity smell. Also gonna get the cowl. Actually, we're gonna get that later because I'm gonna wash the car now. There you go, I'll be back. Once I wash the car, I'll show you the dressing process. right, so just got done washing the car. Next thing you're gonna wanna do is grab yourself a sacrificial microfiber cloth and a detailing brush. You're gonna need that just to spread some of the product around. Actually, I'm gonna spray just a little bit more on there just to re-liquefy some of the product that's on there. Like I said, McGuire's hyper dressing, good stuff. D170, not sponsored, by the way. I'm just gonna work some of this product around. And that's pretty much it to all the areas. And you're gonna notice it's gonna give you a nice satin sheen to everything. Like I said, not super glossy. It's gonna look nice and natural. Not like typical tire dressing that people typically use in the engine bay, which is totally wrong. This is all water-based, so it's not gonna collect or trap any dust and dirt and debris. Just work that in. You guys get the idea. There's gonna be a little bit extra water in there, which is okay. Like I said, this is water-based, so the extra water that's sitting in your engine bay, if you did wash your car before, is not gonna hurt it at all. Might dilute the product a little bit. Like I said, no problem whatsoever. You can always add more. So one thing I really like about it, it really does make this intake manifold pop a little more. Makes it look nice and brand new. But just work it into everything and wipe everything down with your microfiber cloth, and you're done. We'll show you the results in a few minutes. Oh God, that looks so good. It looks so freaking good. Also, don't forget your cowl area. This is a part that a lot of people miss, especially down here. And to get that area, since I haven't cleaned my windows yet, it's perfectly fine if you get some on your windows. So I'm gonna clean my windows with glass cleaner later on, so any of the excess that splashed onto the window is not gonna be a big deal. On almost every WRX and STI I see, this part is always brown, nasty, and dirty. Just work it in just like that, wipe it down with your microfiber cloth, and you're good. Damn canard got me right in the freaking chin. It's just the right amount of sheen or shine. Not too much, not too little. I gotta take that garbage bag off of the air filter. But that pretty much sums up how to clean an engine bay in your 2015 up WRX STI. Same thing can be applied to the WRX non-STI. So there it is. Let me put everything back and let me show you the results.